Hey there, movie buffs. Today we're diving into the world of World War I films. From epic battles to heartbreaking stories, the Great War has inspired some truly incredible movies. So grab your popcorn and get ready for our top 10 best WW1 movies. Starting off our list at number 10 is The Trench. Starring Daniel Craig, The Trench follows a group of young British soldiers as they prepare for the Battle of the Somme, one of the most controversial and deadliest conflicts in the war. Paul Nichols, James D'Arcy, Cillian Murphy, and Ben Whishaw co-star in the William Boyd-directed film. History hasn't been kind to the Battle of the Somme. Indeed, the debate continues to this day over its necessity and significance. The film paints a visceral portrayal of the soldiers' emotions, which range from anxiety and anticipation to despair and even boredom. Taking place, as its title would suggest, in the trenches, the film is claustrophobic and unnerving, effectively capturing the soldiers' own restlessness before the battle.
He was stupid because he didn't listen to me.
They're just sitting there, waiting for us. 7:30. But it's broad daylight.
Coming in at number 9 is Testament of Youth. Based on the memoir of the same name by Vera Brittain, Testament of Youth tells the story of Vera, a headstrong young woman who abandons her studies at Somerville College and leaves her traditional family behind to become a war nurse. The film stars Alicia Vikander as Vera, and the cast also includes Kit Harington, Colin Morgan, and Taron Egerton. A quintessential British period piece, Testament of Youth might not add anything new to the crowded and well-defined genre. However, Vikander's strong performance helps ground the film and the narrative, seen from the eyes of a nurse who parts with each of the men in her life, offers a sufficiently refreshing twist and a new and valuable point of view to the war.
That's no way to find a husband.
I'm not getting married. Not now, not ever.
Well, that's clear then.
Next up at number 8 is A Farewell to Arms. Based on Ernest Hemingway's novel of the same name, this romantic masterpiece tells the story of an expatriate called Henry and an English nurse who fall in love on the Italian front during the First World War. Like all the best WW1 movies, there is a strong strain of introspective nihilism throughout this bittersweet tale. We blame everything on the war, but that's right, Catherine declares at one point. It's something within ourselves. Most of the films on this list focus on the suffering of men, but A Farewell to Arms doesn't shy away from foregrounding the unwanted pregnancies, fetishes, and grievances of women. Boasting one of the most heartbreaking endings in all cinema, A Farewell to Arms reminds us that war doesn't put an end to love. It just makes it far more complicated.
May I present my young American friend, Lieutenant Frederick Henry?
Isn't it rather odd for an American to be in the Italian army?
I didn't particularly want to kill anybody, so I tried the Red Cross.
At number 7 we have War Horse. Just when you think you've seen it all in war movies, the 2011 drama War Horse will show you otherwise. Steven Spielberg gives his audience war from the unique, unexplored perspective of a horse. The movie tells the story of a compelling friendship between a countryside boy named Albert and his horse Joey. The two are sadly forced apart as Joey's skills are needed in the British cavalry. Joey was called a miraculous horse by soldiers who found him running through no man's land, restoring the hope of many for survival. Meanwhile, Albert is not able to rest until he restores his beloved pet. He ventures into the battlefields of France to bring the horse back to its peaceful home. The movie's simple and universal message is that war is certainly unjustified for human beings, but more so for animals, who will only reap deep injuries and an uncalled for death. The uplifting and joyous ending where the two friends reunite under the sunset makes up for all the gory, dark, and cold tone that most scenes incorporate.
And how old are you,
19,
Albert?
sir.
Is that the truth?
No, sir, but I look 19 and I'm bigger than most 19-year-olds and I'm strong, sir, and I'm not afraid of
I
anything.
don't doubt your qualifications, Albert.
Taking the number 6 spot is All Quiet on the Western Front. While it's not the first adaptation of the classic anti-war novel of the same name, All Quiet on the Western Front stands as the most visceral depiction of the harrowing story. It centers on a group of young German men who go off to fight in WW1 expecting it to be a glorious adventure, only to find that actual conflict is anything but. It's not a film for the faint of heart, as it gets considerably more gritty and violent than preceding adaptations ever did. However, it is more than worth watching for those who appreciate anti-war movies, as it has some stunningly shot sequences and features compelling performances from the entire cast, all of whom really sell the horror inherent in the film and, by extension, war itself.
72 Stunden. Der Krieg geht weiter, bis Sie unterschreiben. Monsieur le Maréchal, in Gottes Namen lassen Sie nicht 72 Stunden vergehen. Da draußen sterben Menschen.
Alright, folks, listen up. If you're enjoying the content on this channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button and give the video a good old-fashioned thumbs up. Let's show the creator some love, shall we? Halfway through our list at number 5 is Gallipoli. Gallipoli sheds light on Australia's role in the First World War, and through its depiction of idealistic young men being taken advantage of by their country, it certainly has thematic similarities to All Quiet on the Western Front. Here, it's two young runners who become friends and sign up to fight in WW1, thinking it will be a globe-trotting adventure. For some of the film, maybe it is. It takes more than half the film before they find themselves in actual combat at the Gallipoli Peninsula, but once they do, everything goes to hell. It manages to show war as heartbreaking and terrifying without resorting to graphic violence, instead devastating audiences by making them care for genuinely decent young people who get swept up and ultimately destroyed in a senseless conflict much bigger than them.
I want you all to remember who you are. You're the 10th Light Horse, men from Western Australia. Don't forget it. Good luck.
Coming in at number 4 is They Shall Not Grow Old. To commemorate 100 years since the end of WW1, director Peter Jackson assembled this impressive documentary about life for the average soldier during the conflict. They Shall Not Grow Old does a remarkable job at restoring grainy, black and white footage, remastering it in HD and colorizing it in a way that makes it look better and more lifelike, unlike most attempts to colorize black and white footage. It also includes sound effects added to what's otherwise silent footage, and features archival narration from actual veterans who were interviewed after the end of the war. It's an immersive and confronting watch, but an essential one, as it brings to life a 100-year-old conflict that usually only exists in murky photographs and similarly unclear black and white footage.
I can't remember anything more nerve-wracking than the continuous shelling without stop day and night.
Well, we were always told that you never heard the shell that...
Breaking into the top 3 is Paths of Glory. Paths of Glory is a 1957 anti-war film directed by the legendary Stanley Kubrick. Based on the novel of the same name by Humphrey Cobb, it stars Kirk Douglas as Colonel Dax, who must defend the French soldiers he commands, and who refuse to go ahead with a suicidal attack against a charge of cowardice in a court-martial. The film's blatant anti-military tone earned it a great deal of controversy at the time of its release. Praise for its innovative battle sequences and firmly idealistic message, Paths of Glory remains one of the most important and transcendental films about World War I for both cinephiles and history aficionados.
Batteries 1 and 2 to commence firing on coordinates 32, 58, 78, over.
At number 2, we have Lawrence of Arabia. Frequently cited as one of the greatest films ever made, Lawrence of Arabia tells the story of real-life British Lieutenant T. Lawrence. Due to his extensive knowledge of the Bedouin people, Lawrence is sent to Arabia to track down Prince Faisal and form an alliance between the Arabs and the British to ward off the encroaching Ottomans. With a native guide by his side, Lawrence decides to go against his orders and journey across the Kasp Desert to attack an important Turkish port. There are so many reasons to watch Lawrence of Arabia. As well as boasting an impeccable Peter O'Toole as Lawrence and a brilliant script, the 1962 epic also offers a nuanced exploration of British imperialism in the Middle East. An absolute masterpiece. And finally, taking the number 1 spot on our list is 1917. Taking place almost entirely in real time, 1917 is a suspenseful and stomach-churning film for just about all of its runtime. It follows 2 young soldiers who are sent on a dangerous mission across no man's land, needing to deliver a message that will call off a doomed attack, meaning hundreds of lives are in the soldiers' hands. It stands out for its presentation, as it's filmed and edited to give the appearance that it's all captured in a single shot. It's far too intricate and complex to actually be done in one take, but it fakes it pretty well, and still contains numerous shots that remain unbroken for several minutes or more. It's also another example of a WW1 movie made approximately 100 years on from the conflict, thereby contributing to the resurgence of films taking place during the conflict.
It is a direct order to call off tomorrow morning's attack. If you don't, it will be a massacre. We will lose 2 battalions, 1,600 men, your brother among them.
And there you have it, folks. Our top 10 best WW1 movies. Whether you're a history buff or just a fan of great cinema, these films are sure to entertain and inspire. So grab your popcorn, sit back, and enjoy the magic of the silver screen. Thanks for watching.